Hello, very good morning to all of you. So I welcome you all in this session, and in this session we are actually going to discuss main things that are the part of your questionnaire that you use for some information gathering for a particular disease that you are going to analyze for your assignment or project in Phamacy. So let's start with information gathering. So information gathering is the initial phase of a project where relevant data is collected to understand the problem, stakeholders' needs, and project scope. So just let me tell you what are the objectives of the part of this process or phase of information gathering. So first we want to understand the problem and what are the user requirements. Then we just want to identify the key stakeholders and what are their expectations. Then of course we want to collect technical and business related information. So these are the somehow key objectives of this process of information gathering. So now we come to the techniques of information gathering. So of course, first one is interview, like you are going to meet someone, and in the form of interview or some interaction, you are going to ask direct questions with your stakeholders to collect a detailed insight about that particular data. Then other mode that we in general call as a passive mode to collect your information, that is surveys or questionnaires, in which you will put some questions and you will try to collect data from a large audience systematically. So of course the problem of low response is really a problem in these, we can say, techniques for information gathering, especially related to surveys or questionnaires. Next one is observation, that you will go to the actual site and you will try to observe the current process to identify the gaps and improvement areas. Next, we have document analysis. For example, if you are able to get some reports, logs, and records, and there will be some data, but of course that will be unstructured data or semi-structured data. So you have to review those existing documents, and then you have to apply some data analytics techniques to convert that unstructured or semi-structured data into structured data. Okay. So, but that is also one of the techniques of information gathering that we call as document analysis. Next, we have workshops. Like you are going to address mass, and in group discussions, you want to capture the diverse viewpoints and ideas of the stakeholders. So these are the techniques, but you can design a hybrid technique also, where you may combine interviews and some surveys and questionnaires. Like for managerial position people, you are going to take interviews, but for other people who are actually working and there are a number of people on that level, so you can provide them proper surveys and questionnaires, questions, so they will put their responses and they will return back you, or in the form of Google form you can do this process of questionnaires and surveys. Now let me come to the part of requirement analysis. So after gathering that information, we will come to this part, that is requirement analysis. So requirement analysis mainly involves defining, documenting, and maintaining the needs of stakeholders to ensure the project's success. And the objectives of this phase of this information gathering or of the completing that complete project is: first one, we want to identify functional and non-functional requirements. Then we want to ensure a clear, complete, and unambiguous documentation. Next, we have to prioritize requirements based on criticality and feasibility, that whether it is critically important or not, and whether it is feasible or not. So that also we have to analyze. So what are the types of requirement? Like I told you, that functional requirement. So we have to define the system behavior, like user authentication. So what is functionally we have to implement, that will come into functional requirement. Next thing is that non-functional requirement. It means describing the system performance in terms of speed or security. And there may be some business requirements also. and that will depend on the domain for which you are going to collect that data. So that will outline the high level goals, like increasing efficiency, or you can say promoting sales and doing some marketing activity to to provide some offer, launching some offer, launching a new product. So this may be the scenario. For example, in the domain of pharmacy, uh, on a particular drug you are going to provide some offers, okay, or you are going to provide some rebates. So that may be the business requirement. So that also will come for the phase of requirement gathering. So the process of requirement analysis actually includes elicitation, in which we collect raw requirements from stakeholders. Then we analyze. So second phase will be analysis, that where we want to clarify, refine and prioritize requirements. Then a specification, where documenting detailed requirements formally. So we have to prepare the document for that complete requirement also. Then validation also, that we have to confirm with the stakeholders for accuracy and completeness, that actually they are going to, they want to get it in their requirement document or not, or requirement specifications or not. So we have to confirm with the stakeholders also. Then we will come to the phase of feasibility analysis, in which feasibility analysis actually assesses whether a project is practical and viable before actually you are going to begin or start the development phase. So objectives of this feasibility analysis is, first we want to evaluate whether the project is achievable within defined constraints or not. Then identifying potential risks and challenges, that also we have to we can say identify before the starting of the actual development. And of course to support the decision making on project approval or rejection. So on the basis of this feasibility analysis, information gathering and requirement analysis, the project approval or rejection will be finalized. So in feasibility analysis, actually there may be different types of feasibility analysis. Like first one, we have technical feasibility, in which we assess technology, tools or skills that will be required to complete that project. Then economic feasibility, it means mainly the cost and benefit analysis and what is the ROI, return on investment, for this project. So that is going to be analyzed in economic feasibility. Then we have operational feasibility, to determine if the system fits within current workflows or not. So that also we have to analyze. Then we have legal feasibility, to ensure compliance with legal and regulatory standards wherever or in which domain we are going to implement. Then schedule feasibility, to check if the project can be completed within the timeline or not. So the steps that we are going to follow in feasibility analysis are identifying project scope, then assessing the alternatives, then analyzing cost and benefits, then evaluating the risks to identify and mitigate potential issues that may arise related to this project in future, and decision making, to recommend to proceed and modify or reject the project finally. Okay, so that will be the final decision making. So this was related to preparing all the information gathering, requirement analysis, and doing the feasibility analysis of a project before starting actual development of that project, whether that project is related to the software development or designing any new drug or launching any new drug in the domain of pharmacy. So this was all about from my side for this session. Thank you very much.